Hi guys. Why do an email when we can do a video? Videos are a lot more fun. Okay, it's December 15th, 2022. This is my flat in Malaysia. This is my balcony. And if you look, you can see that is downtown Johor Bahru behind me. It's 5 miles off. It looks closer than that, but this phone camera makes it look further away. I don't know why. Way out in the distance is Singapore. You can't really see it on this phone, but it's out there. And then this is my complex. Let me turn the camera. So there's a pool down there. We have 7 towers. It's 7 o'clock at night. This is about the time the sun sets. And it sets year-round at 7 o'clock, and it comes up at 7 o'clock here. We don't have long winter nights or long summer days. It's 12 hours year-round, pretty much like clockwork because we're that close to the equator, which also means no typhoons, no hurricanes, no tornadoes, or anything like that. We have other issues. So Singapore is just out that way. Downtown Singapore is 17 miles off. You can actually see it on a clear day. These other buildings are looking further away because of the camera, but they're real close. That's the JB side. If you see the water right there, that's actually the Johor Strait, and that's Singapore on the other side. And again, it looks closer in real life. It's this phone camera. Now, on the other side is Singapore. Out there is Indonesia. So the border of Indonesia is very close. If I go over here to the water, to that little building, which you can't really see, I get on the boat, we go around Singapore, and in 2 hours, I'm in Indonesia. So Indonesia's right there. We're right in the center of things. This is right where 3 countries come together, which is why it was real tough for 2 years when our border with Singapore was closed, and we couldn't go anywhere. It was very difficult. Anyway, so back in the flat, and I was just looking at some emails that I got from Josh down at Mama Sayang, and these are things that we have expenses that come up all the time. So here, he says, "Hi Uncle V, Gloria, Dita, and Ruthie." These are 3 of our nursing students from Mama Sayang at Akbar's Cikini Nursing College in Jakarta. "Inform me that they need some extra funding for their on-field nursing practices. They are moving to a new location on the 19th for a week, so they need $150 total for all 3 of them for part of their class expenses." So I get things like this all the time, just to show you that there are always needs here, and they just keep going, like the Energizer Bunny. Now, the nice thing about Mama Sayang, when they need money urgently, they have a PayPal website. And you can actually send it directly. I don't think you get a tax deduction when you do it that way. But a lot of Americans don't really need the tax deduction. If you're retired and your money's in a Roth IRA, you probably don't need the tax deduction. Like in my case, I don't really need it because everything's in the Roth. Or if your deductible expenses don't meet a certain threshold, I don't even know what that is anymore because I'm in Roth. That's why we have the 501c3 set up. So when you send money to Mama Sayang or to any of the homes through Adventure, you get a tax deduction in that manner. If you require the tax deduction, that will stretch your dollars for you. But these things are always coming up. And I like the fact that when Mama Sayang has sudden needs, that they feel they can just contact me and let me know about it, and we'll make sure it gets taken care of. Now, when I was in Tulungagung a couple weeks back, a home I didn't even know existed, that home is related to the home in Surabaya. Well, Lenny never told me about that home because sometimes Lenny is afraid to ask me for things because we do a lot, we as a team, the team from Adventure, we do a lot for their home already in Surabaya, sending the kids to university. There's 2 girls in nursing right now, one in engineering, another in management accounting, and we got 4 in specialty high school programs prepping them for university, and that costs a little bit of money. These costs aren't very much, but it all adds up. Yeah. So Lenny's getting used to the fact that I respond pretty well, and she doesn't need to be afraid to ask and bring needs up when there's needs. And sometimes I feel like George Costanza on Seinfeld. I have to say, details, share with your brother here. Let me know what's going on. If it's a real need, we'll do what we can. We'll pray about it, and we'll do our best to take care of it. There's never any promises. If we can take care of it, we take care of it. and move on to the next need. And there's always needs. And this is why I live here. This is our 8th year here. And why Malaysia? Well, my wife is Malaysian. She was born in Malaysia, over in the other part of Malaysia, over in one of the other poorer provinces on the island of Borneo. And about half of, actually more than half of Borneo is Indonesia too. So there's borders with Indonesia over there as well. Also Brunei's over there, the oil-rich sultanate, which is a really nice place, by the way. It's nice to work over there if you work oil and gas, and if you have a position in Brunei, you're gonna be quite well off over there and quite happy. Anyway, so we always have needs. I'll put the PayPal link for Mama Sayang if you want to just send them money outside of Adventure now and then. All this money gets put to work. For the most part, it's paying university tuition, laptops, these oddball nursing expenses. When I was in Batam nearly 2 weeks ago for the graduation of Sensi, Ocean, and Naomi. Sensi and Ocean are now in the Nurse Professi graduate program, where they're doing a lot of clinical training, and they needed their white nursing shoes, both of them, so we needed to buy 2 pairs of shoes. So when we were at the mall, we sat down to have tea. Sensi ran off to go find white shoes. She came back with the price, and I love buying shoes here because the proper nursing shoes were $10 American a pair. None of these $80 Nikes or whatever. $80 Nikes that you buy in the United States that are made by Indonesian or Vietnamese shoe workers who make about, of that $80, maybe they got $2 of that. You don't need $80 Nike shoes. No, you don't. Anyway, this is something to think about. So, yeah, and also when Josh sent me the email, you know, he's still in high school, but house mom Jevi relies on him for so much because he's so reliable. And he will enter engineering college at ITB, Institute of Technology Bandung, coming in the fall. And he's already taking calculus and all these things because he will have to know calculus. So he had a question for me in addition to telling me about our nurses. He said also, why does a function, he said it in funny English, why does a function can only have at most 2 horizontal asymptotes? Well, there's a reason for that. Any function, a function of x, the limit as it approaches positive infinity would be 1 asymptote. Going the other way as the function x approaches negative infinity, if there's any limit, that would be the other asymptote. And the asymptotes might even be the same. They could be equal. There can be no more than 2. A function like the sine of x has no asymptote because it simply oscillates, say between +1 and -1. So it doesn't have an asymptote. But it was a good question, so I shot that to him. He needs to know these things because he will be taking calculus if he's going to study engineering and architecture and things like that. And once you master calculus, you can be trained to do anything. Which is why we press math so much on the kids. So I'll put the link up. Feel free to help out. You can also give through Adventure. We've got 25 grand in expenses coming up for our students over the next semester. That includes everything. That's tuition, fees, that's dorm for the ones living in dorms, and that's all their food too. Now, if people bring them food, great. That saves us money. It'll stretch their food out, and sometimes we'll get that. And most of the homes, as far as food, people do bring food to the homes. Not all of them get that. That helps us more stretch the dollars. So it will do a lot of good. And you know, if you got some time, come on over here. It's you can get tickets here for $850 to $900 round trip all the way to Singapore, and then from there we'll go into Indonesia or elsewhere, and you can see the homes and see the kids face to face. That's it for now, and you can see how quickly it's getting dark here because the sun sets fast when you're near the equator. It also rises very fast. Okay, love you. God bless. Bye.